Hey everybody, it's Matt with Jameson's Tractor. Hope you are all well today. Today we're going to take a little trip in the truck to the CAT certified scales, and we're going to get this weighed with it empty. Now I've got all of my my bags, my tools, everything that I would normally carry is going to be with me. So we'll stop and get fuel first. There's gas at the weigh station, so we'll get some while we're there. That way we're just totally topped up. And I downloaded the app. I've never done this before, so we're going to find out if there's any tricks to it. I don't know. I also have no idea how much it's going to cost, so we'll find that out too. But hop along for the ride, and here we go. So quick review, just in case you haven't seen it before. It's a 25-foot Blazer Gooseneck, 8,000 pound axles. On the VIN sticker, it basically says it weighs 4,800 pounds. Of course, that's with nothing else in it, so I've got chains and binders and all kinds of stuff in the toolbox. The truck, 2024 Chevy 2500 HD. It's got the 6.6 liter gas motor, the L8T in it. And on the VIN sticker, it says that the payload, the max payload on this truck is 2576, which I think I've got this derated to 10,000 gross vehicle weight rating. So I think if you subtract that, we basically have a 7,400 something pound truck. So we're gonna take off and find out what it actually weighs. Let's talk a little bit about business. For those of you that don't know, the reason I have this set up is because I started a company that buys and sells predominantly right now compact tractors, pre-owned, lightly used, a few years old, a couple hundred hours or less, still under warranty with the manufacturer ideally. And so I'm using this rig to haul those. And I'm having some, things are going pretty well. I'm about 3 months in, 2.5 months in, and I've sold a couple, I've bought 4 or 5. I've gotten the business off the ground. I had to get the website up and running, and so there's a lot to do. But now I'm really in the meat of it, where it's just like, okay, well, I just need to sell some, I need to buy some, I need to sell some more and buy some more. And so I'm used to a lot of the aspects of that, but there are so many potholes. There's some uniqueness to my business model that I'm still having to learn how to navigate, and the customers that I'm working with, and just making sure my mic's still there, they're having to learn that as well. I had one instance last weekend where it went really well, all things considered, but the outcome didn't end up where I wanted it to, which ultimately is in a sale. And so what happened in this particular instance is they contacted me on a Saturday. It was around lunchtime. I ended up talking to the guy, and they were really close. They were only like 15 miles from my location. So I felt rushed, and I didn't go through all of my vetting, but I thought, it's only 15 miles. If they decide that they don't want it, or if it's not the right machine for the property, it's not the end of the world. I'll just load it back up and come home. And I really need more. The more customer actual interactions in the field I can have, the more that I learn, and the better I'm going to be able to present this and understand what I need to do in the future. Take it out there. They love the tractor. We bush hog with it. We talk about appropriate bush hog heights, safety on slopes, where they can take this tractor on their property, where they probably shouldn't take this tractor on their property. We talked about how they mow other sections. And I used some of the knowledge and experience that I have over the years from being around equipment, having a landscaping business, seeing people buy things, seeing people buy the wrong thing. And as we're going through this thing, I think they thought that it was really helpful. And at the end of the conversation, they were like, yeah, we want to buy this machine. And they actually, they gave me a deposit on it. And the reason why they gave me a deposit is it was Saturday, and they wanted to finance a portion of it. And I do have a couple financing avenues that I can point people towards. So what ended up happening is with these customers, we had a conversation while we were out there. It was like, hey, look, interest rates are going to be high if you want to do that. They had a couple avenues they thought they could explore on their own. They had a credit union that they used. But at the end of the day, they explored a few things. I pointed them in the direction of a couple things, and it just, high interest rates. And that kind of killed the deal for them. And that's just something I'm going to have to learn how to work through. Now, granted, of course, I refunded their deposit, and they told me that they would leave me a great review. I'm hoping that they will still do that, just so that I can get the word out that I'm offering a unique service, and I hope that it's valuable. We're going to find out how valuable it is. It was not valuable enough for them to actually pull the trigger in this particular case, but it was almost valuable enough. If you have thoughts on that, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Be interested to see what people think. All right, guys, so a little bit of change in plans. You can see I've got 3/4 of a tank of fuel, and the card reader is not working at this gas station, which is also the weigh station. So we're going to see what I'm hoping we can use the scale, but we're going to find out. Now, I'm probably going to have to shut this video off because I'm using my phone to film it. I'll film us pulling up on here, and then I'm going to have to cut it off and go to the app. All right, here we go. All right, so we just got done at the weigh station, and with 3/4 tank of fuel, we came out 13,860, and the weight on the trailer axles was like 5,040, and I'll put, of course I'm using my phone to film this, I'll put the weights up on the screen. It cost $13.50 to get that done, and overall pretty simple. I used the app. I plugged in there was a scale number. I plugged that in. It asked me to label the truck and trailer, so I put the last 5 of the VIN for both of those units on there so that I could, it keeps history in the app, and it'll allow me to understand exactly which truck and trailer I weighed at this time, which over the years will be helpful. And yeah, so that's interesting. It also gave me individual axle weights for the truck. Got axle maximums on the VIN sticker on my truck. So what's interesting about this is 13,860, so we were right at 14,000 pounds, which means, by the time we, fill up with fuel, we will be at 14,000 pounds, and that's just me. So if it's just me in the truck, as long as I'm not over the axle weight, which I think that's going to be the trick, is finding out the maximum axle weight for the rear axle and how far away I am from it. But I should be able to put about 12,000 pounds or so on this trailer, which is a little bit more than what I was thinking. Of course, once again, I think that I have to be careful not to exceed the weight on this rear axle here, so it would have to be loaded correctly. So meaning a skid steer, if I pull a skid steer up on this trailer and I get it to where it's loaded really well and not too much weight on the truck, it'd probably do great. If I had some massive tractor with a bush hog on the back and I had to pull that thing all the way up to the front just to fit the whole load, that could be a problem. I might be over the tongue weight that I should be. So we're gonna have to experiment with that, and I think the next step is gonna be maybe loading something up and trying, coming back and finding how much my weights are and how well I've done distributing the load across the trailer. And I think that's going to be an interesting experiment. So I will certainly take you along for that ride as well. Yeah, thanks for tagging along on this video. I hope it's been informative for you. And if you have any questions, you can reach me, Matt, at jamesonstractor.com. You can find us on the website, jamesonstractor.com, or you could always give us a call, 615-200-0703. Thanks again. Have a blessed day.